What if you woke up tomorrow and everything you worked for, your apartment, your job, your car, your sense of security, was gone? What if the rising cost of rent didn't just stretch your paycheck, but shattered your life, leaving you with nowhere to go? Tonight, we're stepping into a story that could be your neighbor's story, or even yours. This is not a documentary. This is not a statistic. This is real life in America in 2025, where even middle-class families who followed every rule, worked hard, and tried to build a future, are just one rent increase away from sleeping in their cars. But this isn't just a story of loss. This is a story of grit. A story of people who refuse to give up. A story that will remind you your lowest moment can be the beginning of your greatest comeback. Meet Sarah and Jason Carter, a couple in their late 30s. 2 kids, a modest apartment in a quiet suburban neighborhood outside of Dallas, Texas. They weren't rich, but they weren't struggling either. Sarah was a nurse, working 12-hour shifts. Jason was an electrician. Together, they made enough to pay the bills, keep food on the table, and save a little for the kids' future. Life felt safe until it wasn't. In 2024, rent in their area spiked by 40%. Their landlord gave them a polite notice. The market's changed. You'll have to renew at the new rate. The Carters couldn't believe it. Jason said, "That's more than our car payment." Sarah laughed nervously, but deep down, fear crept in. They tried everything. Jason picked up overtime. Sarah worked doubles. But even with 2 full-time incomes, the math didn't add up. Rent alone swallowed half their earnings. Then came the car trouble, the medical bills, the unexpected expenses that always seem to hit hardest when you're barely staying afloat. 3 months later, they got the letter. Eviction notice. Sarah cried in the bathroom so her kids wouldn't see. Jason punched a wall in frustration. For the first time in their lives, they faced homelessness. They packed their lives into cardboard boxes, gave away furniture they couldn't carry. And one cold February night, the Carter family became part of the statistic. One of thousands of middle-class families losing their homes each month. They slept in their car the first night. Sarah's little boy, Jacob, asked, "Mom, is this a camping trip?" She smiled and nodded, choking back tears. They parked in a Walmart parking lot because it felt safer. But the fear was overwhelming. Fear of strangers. Fear of the police knocking on their window. Fear of never finding their way out. For weeks, this became their reality. Showers at a gas station. Meals from dollar menus. Jason taking day jobs. Sarah sneaking naps between shifts. They hid their situation from co-workers, terrified of judgment. The stress took a toll. Sarah's hair started falling out. Jason grew distant. The kids became quiet. This wasn't just financial hardship. It was emotional devastation. And yet they kept moving. One night, Sarah sat in the car scrolling through her phone, tears running down her face. She found a local nonprofit, Hearts for Homes, that specialized in helping families like hers. She hesitated, pride holding her back. Jason whispered, "Call them." The next day, she made the call that changed everything. Within a week, they were placed in temporary housing, a small motel room, a roof over their heads. They were connected with a social worker named Maria, who became their lifeline. Maria saw something in them, a resilience, a refusal to quit. Maria told them, "This is not the end of your story. This is just a hard chapter." For the first time in months, Sarah felt hope. With stable shelter, Jason could focus on steady work. He joined a local union and got training for a higher-paying job. Sarah began applying for nursing positions at better-paying hospitals. But more importantly, they found community. The nonprofit connected them with other families who had faced the same struggles. Families who understood what it felt like to be invisible, Sarah volunteered on weekends at the nonprofit's community kitchen. She met people living in tents, veterans with PTSD, single moms with 3 jobs, and she realized something powerful. Homelessness doesn't look like one thing. It could happen to anyone. That realization lit a fire in her. She started speaking publicly about her family's journey. She shared their story on social media. She joined local advocacy groups pushing for affordable housing. And slowly, piece by piece, their life stabilized. Within a year, they moved into a small 2-bedroom apartment. It wasn't fancy, but it was theirs. Jason came home one day with his first union paycheck, tears in his eyes. Sarah framed it, not because of the money, but because it represented a second chance. The Carter family story isn't rare. In fact, 71% of Americans fear becoming homeless. The rising cost of housing, inflation, and economic uncertainty has created a reality where middle-class families, people who work hard and play by the rules, are just one financial setback away from disaster. But here's the truth. Your circumstances don't define you. Your pain can become your power. Your lowest moment can be the foundation of a comeback that inspires others. Sarah didn't just rebuild her life. She now runs a support network that's helped over 100 families transition from homelessness to housing. Jason mentors young electricians, teaching them financial literacy. Their kids, they're thriving. And all of it started with a simple decision. They refuse to give up. If you're watching this right now and you feel like you're drowning, if you're terrified of losing everything, if you're already living this nightmare, hear me. You are not alone. There is help. There is hope. Reach out to local shelters. Call nonprofits. Talk to friends. Ask for help. There is no shame in struggling. It is proof that you are still fighting. And for those of us who aren't in that situation, it's time to stop looking away. Volunteer. Donate. Advocate. Because no one in the richest country on earth should be sleeping in their car. Remember this. Life can break you, or it can build you. And sometimes, the greatest stories are born in the darkest chapters. What if we stopped pretending homelessness was someone else's problem? What if we became the solution? Because the truth is, we can.